Hey everybody, I want to welcome you to Smashbox. My name is Lori Taylor Davis, and today we have such an amazing day planned for you. Can we talk about that this is our first ever TTT webinar? So we're coming to you live from Smashbox Studios right in Los Angeles. I have to share my fun fact with you. You're going to hear a few fun facts throughout the day. My fun fact is when I started about 17 years ago, we were probably in no more than 10 countries. That's including US and Canada. We are now coming to you from over 54 countries. I want to give a shout out to the EMEA, the UK, Southeast Asia, and LATAM. We are a global brand and we are doing mighty, mighty, mighty big things. We're going to take We're going to take the first moment of today and we're going to really focus on our updated brand story. And I don't know if you noticed or not, but our logo got a little facelift, got a little nip and tuck. We basically are a makeup brand born out of the photo studios, created by two brothers that were born into makeup. Makeup is in their blood. Smashbox was created for the sole purpose of giving beauty and creativity a place to be in Los Angeles. We are up close and personal, getting our hands dirty with primers and shadows and lips with a like-minded creativity that ensures every product performs to its highest standards. And don't forget, we're cruelty-free. Today is really about the two areas of newness that we're bringing to the brand. We're going to focus on primer and we're going to focus on foundation. And your trainers are going to be going over that more a little bit later. What I want you guys to always keep in mind as we go throughout the day and as you're speaking about Smashbox, our Smashbox heritage and our Smashbox theory is all about how we can create a flawless complexion effortlessly, where you can't see where the skin stops and the makeup starts. All right, so fall 2019, what is it all about? It's all about energy and creativity and transformation, all driven by our #1 launch. It's our full coverage foundation. I'm wearing it today, and you can't even tell I have on makeup, right? And that's a full coverage, ladies and gentlemen. Full coverage, okay? The national training team is going to take you through all of the new product launches. You might see me come in from time to time. They are going to basically be doing product demos. They're going to give you all the features and benefits that you need, as well as the tips and tricks that they learn behind the scenes to engage your clients. And for those of you that may have this, and some got it, it's coming, we have our new Train the Trainer webinar magazine. This magazine is one of my favorites because it's just absolutely gorgeous. This is full coverage on the front, so many tips and tricks. You can use it. This is going to be almost like your Smashbox Beauty Bible. It is just such an amazing, amazing, amazing moment. So I brought a few friends with me today, and you might recognize some of them. Oh, hey girl. Hey. Let's see. Ooh, I think something's missing. Let me see. Let me see. Yes. Come to me. Yes. Ooh. Perfection. Nice. All right, guys. Thank you, Lori. Take it away, Priya.
Hi, everyone. I have some big shoes to fill right now, so we're going to get this started. First, I want to say thank you so much for your patience. With everything new, sometimes there's a little blip, and we got through it. And so for the rest of our time with you today, we just want to make sure everything else runs smoothly. We want everyone to be involved, so we're actually asking you some questions via a Poll Everywhere website. You all received this information, but I just want to reiterate a couple of things. This is the URL. It is www.pollev.com/jbarash125. If you're accessing it via the URL, this is what you'll use. Then, if you're going to text via your cell phone, you're going to text to 22333, and it's jbarash125. So we want you to be involved. Please use that to answer your questions. We'll also be taking questions via the chat group on the right side of your screen. So everyone can be engaged and see what you're asking. Just make sure the blue bubble says to everyone, and then we're good to go. Thank you so much for being with us today. So let's get on to the next thing.
Woo! Hey Smashbox, my name is Aaron Tabor and I'm the Field Executive Training Manager for the Midwest. You may know me also from Ulta PCE training videos, so here I am, hi! Make sure you're watching those, they're now called DMTs. Did you know that full coverage foundation is still the fastest growing segment of the US prestige market? Well, we're excited because now is the time to expand our Studio Skin franchise with the release of a new Studio Skin full coverage 24-hour wear foundation. This thing is amazing. Take a look at that. This is going to be supported by a global campaign that you'll see our influencers do before and afters. You'll see model visuals on IG and YouTube, as well as our website. They're going to be creating an authentic voice for all of you and help engage our consumers to create a story that is unique and telling. We will also leverage mega and micro influencers across the board to help amplify this launch. They're going to target ethnic consumer groups, which is great for us. And some of you may have heard that in the next couple of weeks, we are taking the group to Cabo, Mexico. They're going to lounge on the beach in humidity and get all wet, and our new full coverage foundation and our Studio Skin Oil and Shine Control Primer. We know we're launching in a crowded space. We know that we're not the first to create a full coverage foundation, but we believe that this formula is going to be a breakaway. So you need to believe the hype, and that's going to be a hashtag for us. Hashtag believe the hype. The Studio Skin Full Coverage 24-hour wear foundation gives you incredible coverage, but this feels super lightweight on the skin, and you literally need to see it to believe it. So that's going to be our mantra for the season. See it to believe it. Everybody, say it out loud. See it to believe it.
Say
it to believe it.
Yes.
This is a weightless foundation. It's waterproof, and we got a demo that will show you how waterproof this truly is. I call it your hot tub makeup. This is your swimming pool makeup. You'll get caught in a rainstorm, you're gonna come out, you're gonna look fierce, okay? It contains kaolin clay, and kaolin clay is great for controlling oil on the skin without drying it out. It also contains bamboo powder, which is great to combat inflammation. As you can see me, I get a little red when I'm getting a little excited. So it'll help calm and soothe that. And one of our favorite ingredients is hyaluronic acid. We love to use that in our products, and that's great for smoothing the skin as well as hydrating it. So I'm gonna swipe the back of my hand with a little bit of this foundation so that you can see how truly, we've been using a lot of this at the studios. Okay, so that might even be too much, if you can believe that. See how little that is? All right, so I'm gonna swipe that. What the? Can you believe that? Yes. So we can swipe, swipe, swipe. All right, so to give you a little bit more information about this new full coverage foundation, we have Chris Mortacci here, and she actually worked on the global ad campaign. So she's gonna give us the tips and tricks about this foundation, her experience using it in the studios, so on and so forth. Chris, take it away, girl.
Hi, thanks, Aaron. My name is Chris Mortacci. I'm the Field Executive Training Manager for the West Coast US. I'm super excited to be here with you today, but before I get started, I wanted to share a fun fact. When I first started with Smashbox, let's say about 20 years ago, every single eyeshadow was named after the ex-girlfriends and current girlfriends of our founders, Dean and Davis Factor. There were shades named like Sarah Brooke and Christina Ashley. It was really fun and kind of crazy to share this with the consumer. I thought that would be a fun fact to share. Okay, so Aaron swatched the back of his hand with the full coverage foundation shade, and I just want to make sure that you realize, come on over, Aaron. I'm supposed to swipe it next to you. I just want you guys to see that when you swipe the the same shade next to what's already dried down, you're really gonna see a different color. Got it? Move on over. You can go back. So when you're matching this in store, you wanna make sure that you're starting in the center of the face and you're matching with 3 shades. It's gonna take about 60 seconds to dry down. This was really kind of trying on set with all the models when we were matching for the foundation shoot. We would match it, we would think we got it perfect, and then we turn around to match another model. By the time we got back, we would realize that you really have to wait for the dry down to make sure you get that true shade. Because this foundation is a full coverage, it is a little more, you're not gonna see the undertone from the skin, so it's a little less forgiving than our traditional hydrating full coverage foundation. Wipe this off. Okay. So, during my foundation shade matching on set, we had the models take off their makeup and apply it on canvas. And they were really able to see how easy it was to apply. They were trying different tools and different primers underneath it, and every single model was just blown away and wowed by how fantastic the foundation looked, right?
Yes, it was
It covered rosacea, it covered acne, it covered everything. No matter what the concern was, it covered, right?
Yeah.
I was blown away because if everyone knows me, I'm a little bit hard to, believe the hype. But after the shoot, I really did believe the hype. So what I would say, when you're in store, you really just want to make sure that you are matching. Again, if someone is a 2.1 in our traditional hydrating foundation, they're probably going to be this similar shade in this new full coverage foundation, but you really just want to shade match them again. Sound good? There are going to be times when you need to take the décolleté and the rest of the body into consideration, because sometimes people tan their body, but they don't tan their face. So I like to make sure that they hold their forearm up to the face just to make sure you're getting a cohesive match between everything. Sound good? Okay, now it's time to put this into action. So I'm going to have lovely model Sierra from our product development and Ashley, she is part of Summer's team, and we're going to do some demo and some in-store kind of training tips. Sound good? Erin, take it away.
Aw, thanks, Chris. First, if you're not already aware, Photo Finish Iconic Primer, the original Smooth and Blur, is now the #1 selling primer SKU in the US. Hey, take a look at that. It's our little all-star rock star, right? Isn't that great? So I'm going to show you a quick little demo on our beautiful model, Ashley. And Ashley has already been color swatched with 3 shades. We did 1.2 on the left, 1.1 in the middle, and 1.15 on the right. So I think taking a look at this, and after it has developed, I think the 1.2 is actually the best match for her right here. What do you think?
Looks great.
Yeah,
okay.
I agree.
I think it's always good too to, when you set your client down, put a mirror in their hand. And when you do the color swatching, have them take a look at it, hold the mirror up so that you can find the light. And then what do you think? Do you think that this first color looks the best?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, we're going to go with that. Now, after the color has developed on the skin, you're going to want to remove the swatches. And because this is a full coverage waterproof foundation, not everything is going to remove this. So I'm using a makeup wipe, and because it's only been on her skin for about a minute and a half, this should be able to break it down. Chris had a couple of other good ideas when it came to removing the full coverage foundation. You had suggested Embryo Lease. What else did you mention for?
Black Glow, the Lactic Cleanse, the Clinique Cleansing Balm, they all work amazing.
Were you guys able to hear her on that? What'd you say?
We'll repeat it.
Oh, yeah, okay. So I'm going to use a very small amount of pigment in order to cover Ashley's skin. You see that? Here's the swatches we did before. We're going to use these later. But I don't think you really need much more than that for the whole face. So I'm going to use this full coverage foundation brush. What I like about this is that it does have a short hair on it, so it's good for picking up a full coverage foundation and laying it pretty densely onto the skin, So this foundation's great because this is going to help us get a younger consumer, one that cares about skincare benefits added to their full coverage foundations. So I'm going to pull about half of the foundation onto the skin or onto the brush, and then start off in the apple of the cheek. Blend that color outward. Now notice how I'm holding my brush a little further back. Does that look like the right color on her?
It's fantastic.
All right, good. So notice I'm holding my brush a little further back on the skin or on the brush handle. This will give me a softer application. It's also much more comfortable for the client. So one application, let's apply a little bit more, give her a little bit more coverage throughout the forehead. Actually, just turn your over the other way. There you go, darling. Nice long even strokes in the direction of the hair growth. Hair grows from the center of the face outward in either direction. So if you follow that directional hair growth, you'll be able to create a more natural looking blend. Take it up around the eyes and just give it a nice finish, smooth finish. You know, I like to take a step back from my work. Go ahead and take a look. What do you think, Lori?
I think it looks good. You know what I love about it is it really kind of brings in, like, remember Chris mentioned the décolleté, the neck and all of that. So what it does is it really kind of ties all this in together. A lot of times when we first put a full coverage foundation, as you know, Erin, on a face, it almost feels like you're getting the skin so perfected, it almost feels like it's washing the skin out. But what you're doing is you're just kind of evening the skin tone out, and then you can go back in with like a little color here and there or something like that. Also remember, as Chris said, these foundations take a little bit of time to dry down. So initially you might be like, oh, that's why I might give it a second, literally. But that's the nature of a full coverage foundation. It's made to paint the face, so it takes a little bit of time for it to dry down and become the color that it is. So it's kind of, as you see, you're going to watch become more and more and more of Ashley's tone, and see how it just kind of looks like skin. Now, mind you, this is full coverage. Like Erin said, that full coverage foundation brush, I love it. That's the brush that Smashbox created to use with a full coverage foundation. So we have the tool that goes with the product.
And a little bit goes a
A long way.
very long way.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think? Look good? All
Let's
right,
see. Yeah.
nice in the evening. Okay, wonderful. All right, so now we're going to take it back over to Chris, where she's going to show you how to use different tools when applying.
Perfect. So Sierra has a mirror already in front of her. I love to make sure that my client is going to have the mirror in store. I'm going to take a little bit of primer oil that I have in my blending tray, and I'm just going to apply to the center of the face, and I'm going to blend out. You want to make sure that you are blending this, pressing it into the skin, giving it time to set up. You want to make sure that it is absorbed in the skin before you go in and you start applying the full coverage foundation. Her skin is gorgeous. It's just drinking up this primer. Turn this way, honey. Okay. I'm going to use two different tools on Sierra's face. On one side, I'm going to use the full coverage foundation brush. And then on the other, I'm going to use a beauty blender just so you can see the difference of the tool. I'm telling you on set, there wasn't a brush that Smashbox made that didn't work well with this foundation. Every single tool was beautiful. It's just going to depend on how full you want your coverage. How does that look? Good? I'm going to take my full coverage foundation brush, and I'm just going to apply a little bit. And I'm going to start in the center of the face. I've already pre-matched her. Ooh, there's a lot of coverage, like we said. Ooh. Hold up, guys. So this is one of those instances where you apply it and you realize there's too much on your brush. So you improvise. I'm going to go in and just blend it out a little bit. But look at that. She doesn't necessarily need this full coverage, but you can see that it's just melting in like butter. You want to make sure that you don't make the mistake that I did and have way too much product on your brush. So I think in store it's going to be a lot easier when you apply a tiny bit to the back of your hand and blend it out so that you don't get that big old amount of foundation on the face. Remember to build in sheer layers like Lori does on set. But look at how beautiful that is. Okay, we're going to try the brush on the other side since I ended up using the beauty blender on this side. All right. How does that feel, Sia?
It feels fun. It feels like I have nothing on my skin.
I mean,
It's
it looks
wonderful.
like you have nothing on your
It's very
skin,
lightweight.
but it covered everything. Okay.
Hey, Chris, let's share the true fun fact that Sierra is the developer of this actual
Yes,
product.
I am.
That's why she's so
Exactly. So I'm like, it was a labor of love creating.
Yes,
She
it
went all
was.
the way to Belgium and back to get this here for you guys.
was.
So woof woof to Sierra.
Thank you.
So I'm cheating a little bit, and I'm using the wrist just to kind of blend out and distribute it evenly on my brush. And I'm going to try this again on the other side. Just working, blurring it out. It was literally a half of a pea distributed on this brush is going to give it that nice little coverage. Turn this way a little bit. So as you can see, the brush gives it a little bit fuller coverage with the Beauty Blender, and that sheer wash of color, you can see a little bit more of a dewier side, and I'll show you. But both look gorgeous. What do you think? What side do you like better, Sia?
I love the Beauty Blender. I go for more of like a fair sheer coverage.
And that's
So
going to
I
be
love
great
this,
in
yeah.
Sephora in store because
Yeah.
we don't sell our brushes, so we can link the Beauty Blender. But
Yeah.
I love both options.
Yeah.
I think you would like this one a little bit better if I would have started with a little bit less.
Yes.
But it's been a couple weeks.
They
since
both
I
look
played-
beautiful.
It's been a couple weeks since I played with this foundation.
They both look beautiful.
She looks really glowy, Chris.
So crazy. Thank you.
Yeah.
I think it looks beautiful.
Thank you.
So we're going to take it back to Erin, okay?
Wow, that was amazing. Thank you so much, Chris. I love seeing it applied with the Beauty Blender and the other tool, and then the full coverage brush. So now we've had a little bit of time for it to develop on Ashley.
And it just warms up on its own. It basically kind of works with the warmth of the skin.
Right.
You know, there's no undertone, but there's warmth that the skin produces. And I always feel like makeup looks so much better even in the studio after it's sat a little bit.
And then how does it feel? Like, what is the texture like? Can you feel it sitting on the skin?
It's really comfortable.
Good. So it feels weightless, cloud-like? Yes, okay.
We
You
need
gonna
a
go
witness?
swimming after this?
I think I might.
Or at least playing in sprinklers.
You know,
Playing in
it's
sprinklers.
funny because you like, you have people that come in, they're like, yeah, I'm gonna want to do like hot yoga, but like I need a full coverage foundation while I'm doing it. You're like, okay, girl.
I got the thing for you now.
Done that, honey. So there are a couple of other ways we're able to show proof of claims for our new foundation, and this is going to help you engage in store and really wow the in-store teams with these demonstrative demos. Now, the first one that we have for proof of concept is the water demo.
My hands are all slippery.
Here, I'm going to come around this side. Okay?
Yeah.
So Chris will help me with this little demonstration. Now, we have the two shades that were applied earlier, and they've had time to really set and develop themselves. So I'm going to take those swatches, and I'm going to submerge them in a bucket of water. I feel like Houdini here. Okay. Now we use a sponge, press over the top of it, and as you can see, there's nothing on the sponge.
Go ahead.
It's like magic, isn't it? Go ahead and do the little rub test too.
Well, it's not transfer resistant,
Ah,
but
isn't it amazing?
it's pretty amazing. Good.
Wonderful.
We don't expect you guys to have these in store. We don't need any fish bowls. We can use a water bottle and a spray to get the same effect.
Yeah, that's fine. Yes. All right, so Chris is going to show us a second demo, and this one is really compelling.
Okay, so we created these great little tattoos that you can use in store. They'll be coming in your training boxes. For those of you that won't be receiving these, you can cover up a real tattoo in store. These are to mimic red, brown, blue, and green veins. And I'm going to apply it to the back of Erin's hand. And what you do is you just peel off the little clear.
I've got a good hand for this because I got a lot of blue veins.
And then you take it and you press it down. And then you're just going to load it up with some water. I'm taking on your accent. Where's this coming from?
What? I don't have an accent.
Are you sure about that?
Yes.
Okay, hold on. Taking a little more water. You just want to make sure that you really, really saturate it. I don't know if I got enough. Let's see.
It's good. I can see it transferring. Yes.
So as you can see, you see the red, you see the blue, you see the green, and you see the brown. So this is going to mimic all the discoloration veins that your client may have as a concern. Next, I'm just going to take a little foundation.
Looks awesome. They said amazing.
So good, right?
Yes.
And I'm just going to take my finger, and I'm just going to press.
Over the dark spots.
So dark spots are going away. Remember that you can layer this once, let it dry, and go back over it again.
No more veins.
Veins are going away.
No more blue veins.
Red spots, acne scars, disappearing.
That's really impressive. Look at that.
I might need a little bit more.
This reminds me of that campaign by another brand where they had like the skeleton dude. They covered him up.
I have no idea what you're talking about, but I'm sure it was amazing. But this is great. Look at that. Pretty good?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, this isn't his color, but we just wanted to show you
It's not too
how
bad.
powerful it goes. Nice.
Beautiful.
Slow it down, Erin.
Got it, Pierce? Got it?
Listen, he's a makeup artist, not a model. Please forgive us. We're doing our best. But it really does show the power of just one coat of foundation is really just concealing all your concerns, no matter what they are.
Wonderful.
Good.
Thank you, Chris. So now it's your turn. Now it's your opportunity to ask some questions. We have people who are available to answer questions as you submit them. So go ahead and take a couple minutes, answer some questions.
Perfect. So I'm going to answer.
Oh, I guess we're asking questions. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. Listen, we have Vanna White.
I want to know
Oh,
this.
yeah. Okay.
Sure.
Okay. So how many shades do we have in this new foundation? So there's going to be 40.
Big 4-0.
They want to know if there's SPF in it. There's no SPF.
No one we can talk about.
Can people with dry skin use this?
Most certainly can.
I'm dry as well, and I have
Use it.
on. I just put primer oil as a prep step, so just make sure you're using the primer that helps to address their skin concerns.
What's inside of it that's good for dry skin people, Erin?
Hyaluronic.
A hyaluronic acid.
Awesome, boys.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I just joined in. I butted in. Sorry.
Another question that just came in is, what is the finish? Is it matte or is it considered dewy?
It's matte.
Thank you
But
very
if you mix it with
much.
primer oil, you can get a bit of radiance.
So you can mix it with primer oil. That's totally okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I do.
So you guys can see this is mixed with primer oil, or primer oil as the base, and it gives
Right.
you more of a natural radiant. Whereas with Erin's, you still have a soft glow, so it looks like skin, but it's a little bit more of a natural matte.
I mean, I think both finishes are great. It's just a matter of preference. Oh, I have questions. It says, can you cover a tattoo with it? We just did that. So yeah, you can actually cover tattoos, any type of really like melasma, dark marks, anything. And
It covered every
It co-
concern on
because you
skin.
can use on the body.
Yeah, you can use on the body.
You can use on the body. That's why I love to phone a friend.
Yes.
Developers are your friends.
Yes.
And then again, the question was, can you mix with primer oil for a dewy finish? And I say yes. I actually, where Chris layered it, for my personal preference, I actually mix it in the foundation. And then sometimes where I want a little bit more full coverage, I'll take it with nothing to kind of build. So
That's what I did on myself today as
so
well.
you do. So this is one of those foundations that, I mean, if you work, you're makeup artists. So be a makeup artist, really work that foundation. You can create a lot of different finishes from one foundation, which is awesome.
Okay.
The other question was I had, oh, sorry, do you want to go next?
Yeah,
I have one more question. Oh, okay, yeah.
So bossy.
I mean, anyway, so can you mix it with primerizer for a dewy look? I'm going to say yeah, because it's all about hydration and radiance. So you got hydration on top of hydration, which is just the bomb.
I think when you're mixing it in with a primer or a primerizer, you can't have the claim still. So that's where the 24-hour claim, you might not have get the same claim when you're mixing those in. So just make sure you're educating your client. The other question is it transfer resistant? It is sweat and humidity resistant, but it is not tested to be transfer resistant, even though I found that it's pretty pretty amazing.
I think it's bulletproof. Yeah.
I think it's bulletproof as well, but we didn't test for that claim.
I mean, look.
Yeah. for
I
this
mean,
segment.
seriously. You can get on in there.
You writing it down?
Rubbing.
Ouch.
No one should ever be touching you that harshly.
Okay. Do you have questions?
No, that's
Okay, you want to read them?
We have some more questions that just come through. Questions regarding transfer resistant. If you use a powder over it, will it be transfer resistant? And also, can you use it on mature skin? And lastly, could you please elaborate regarding the 60-second wait and how we can communicate that to cast members in store?
I can take the 60-second wait.
Perfect. I can take the mature client because I'm
Okay.
48 years old and I'm wearing it.
I'm not gonna say how old. I'm older than her and I'm wearing it, so hell to the F for the mature ladies.
As far as the dry down, it's just when anything has a lot of pigment, and Sierra, you can chime in on this.
Yes.
When anything has a lot of pigment, it just needs a moment to just literally like dry down. I keep equating it to paint. It's probably a bad analogy, but
No, it really is kind of the same thing. It just needs a moment for the pigment to develop. So
Right.
as the pigment develops on your skin, then you'll be able to see its true color.
that's what it is.
Would you guys say that's true with basically most full coverages? You would have to let it
all
sit.
full
All
coverage.
coverage.
Because the pigment level is so strong that it just takes a minute for it to develop on your skin. Yeah.
So 60 seconds.
I like 60 seconds is great.
Rematch everybody no matter.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
no
mean,
matter.
because there are times when you'll find someone may have been a 2.1 or a
Yeah.
3.2 on another shade, and because this is all undertone, because there's no undertone in this, and it's supposed to be true match, you really have to rematch everyone.
And Chris and I will have some tips and tricks later in the session about the types of conversations that you can have
In
with
store.
in store. So more to come on that, what to do during the dry down time.
Perfect. Oh,
And
so
then-
please stay on after we wrap up just so you can get our additional tips and tricks for
Yeah.
in store. Yeah.
So great for mature skin.
Oh, thanks. Yes. Yes, my birthday was a couple weeks ago. Yes, it's great for mature skin. I feel like you just gotta make sure you're properly moisturizing and prepping the skin. But I have it on today, and I don't know how it looked, but
Gorgeous.
it feels good.
Flawless.
And
I've got it
I
on.
can't.
I'm middle-aged.
Yes. This is your middle-aged crew.
Yeah. We're all these goodies.
Hey.
So yeah.
Perfect.
Any more questions?
The one question was, is the develop different than the oxidation or oxidizing foundation? And I would say yes.
I would say yes.
Yeah.
I would say that they're different. This just is really the level of pigment that's in there. Oxidizing is a different. It's kind of like how the product is moving different on your skin, how it's adjusting to your skin. I would say they're different.
And it does not oxidize throughout the day. Once it
No,
sets,
once it sets, once
it
the
will
color,
stay the same
once the color
color.
develops, it's done. It's not changing.
Yeah,
It's not
'cause
moving. It's not
oxidizing
going
is
anywhere.
more when it changes with the oil.
Oil.
That's
Yes.
agreed.
This is not
This
oxidizing.
is not
It's
oxidation.
developing.
Yeah, so developing is when the product is basically drying down and becoming kind of the color that it was meant to be. Oxidation, I can't say that.
Oxidation.
Oxidation is when basically something else is happening as mixing like
With your body
oil
chemistry.
Mhm.
Yep.
or
Your
body
body
chemistry, and it changes it. So
Yeah.
basically Sierra developed this with Will's help. I also give shout out to Will, he went to
Yes.
Belgium as well.
Yes.
So I was an artist and a PD and a product developer, which is amazing. Anyway, I want to say that when Sarah was developing it, it was like a high pigment load, and this is the color that it's going to come out to be. So the
Yeah.
colors, the true dry down match is the color that Sierra meant for it to be.
Yes.
I mean, look, it is just flawless.
I mean, honestly, and the fact that we have 40 shades that go
Yeah.
all the way to 4.7. Whoa, it is like it's all the way from like the lightest light to the deepest deep, and I'm so excited. I mean, when I started, we had 2 foundations, and there might have been 5 in each category. So this is amazingness. I love it.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Hey, excuse me. It's time for Poll Everywhere, guys. So make sure you log on. I'm going to give you a couple minutes. Who wore it better?
I want to steal your glasses. They're so good.
You can have them.
Okay, thanks. I appreciate
Amazon.
it. Oh, Amazon. Okay,
Yeah.
have your money.
Okay. All right, are you guys ready? Is Poll Everywhere up on the screen? All right, guys, here's a question for you. I need 100% participation. Studio Skin Full Coverage 24-hour foundation is A, water, sweat, and humidity resistant, B, waterproof, sweat, and humidity resistant, or C, waterproof, sweat, humidity, and transfer resistant. Lock in your answers. A, B, or C? All right. Are we getting some answers, Jen? No? Are you guys playing with me?
Oh.
Oh, I see him now. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Ooh. Come on, guys. Retention, retention. You have to pay attention. Lori would never say that. I need to get in character. All right, guys. 75% of you got it right. B is the correct answer. This product is waterproof, sweat, and humidity resistant. Okay, one more question and then we're moving on. We're gonna flip to the next question. Is it there? Sorry, it's loading. Okay, we're going to the next one. Studio Skin, full coverage, 24-hour foundation, feels like what on the skin? Oh my gosh, smooth, comfortable, weightless, comfortable and light, cloud-like, smooth. You guys are all correct, but the main claim is this is a weightless, full coverage foundation. It does not feel like anything on the skin. Thanks for playing. We'll see you next round. Bye.
Yes.
Hey, Smashbox. My name is Colleen Gahan, and I'm the Field Executive Training Manager in the Northeast U.S. region. And my fun fact is that I love Studio Skin Flawless Concealer so much that I had to replenish it 3 times since it launched. And what kept my concealer staying fresh all day? You guessed it, hydrating under eye primer. So let's talk a little bit about primers. We know that one of the fastest rising SKUs in the primer category is coming from skincare brands. Just because we're a color brand doesn't mean that we don't have healthy ingredients and innovative products to compete with these up-and-comers. After all, we are the primer authorities. So let's keep that in mind. We also know that consumer insight shows that one of the main drivers for clients to purchase a primer is oil, shine, and control. The second is they like that it helps to make their makeup last longer. It looks better on the skin, and their overall skin just feels better. So I'm super excited to say that we are going to be introducing into our primer family a new member, which is our problem corrector. It is called Photo Finish Oil, Shine, and Control. And I couldn't be more excited about this primer. It's got a very transformative quality to it. It glides onto the skin like a cloud and mattifies like magic. It has a time-release technology that actually helps it to control the oil for 12 hours. And we talked a little bit about the healthy ingredients. Well, it has witch hazel, and that acts as an astringent. And so what the witch hazel will do is it helps to remove the dead skin cells and oil and cleanse the pore. It also contains salicylic acid. And salicylic acid, as many of you know, helps to treat and prevent acne breakouts. And we round that off with zinc. And zinc is a trace mineral that actually works within the skin to produce the natural amount of oil that your skin is producing. So the overall texture of this product is very soft, it's very lightweight, it's so super focused. It glides onto the skin to really help make your makeup go smooth, to stay on longer. It's oil-free, it's non-greasy. And you're gonna hear me say back a few times that it goes on like a cloud and mattifies like magic, because guys, this is something that you have to touch and feel and test. It's gonna blow your mind. All right, so we're gonna do a quick little demo, and I'm going to show you how that we can use our oil, shine, and control. And we're going to use it with our 2 key foundations. So we're going to do our hydrating, I was going to say concealer because I'm obsessed with it. We're going to do our hydrating foundation as well as our new full coverage. So my model Jen is going to take the seat. So keep in mind, guys, I'm just showing you how to use this with our 2 foundations, but this looks beautiful under any foundation. So I'm going to take about a pea-size amount. So you want to get a decent size. Okay, not too much because you'll get into the pilling factor, but pea-size amount. I'm going to warm it in my hands, and I'm going to apply it to my gorgeous model. So instantly, you're going to see, just even right here on the forehead, how it completely transforms the skin. The skin looks smoother, it looks softer, and immediately you see how it fills in any of the pores as well as fine lines. Not that you have any, my gorgeous. I'm going to take a little bit more. And how does that feel on the skin, Jen?
Feels nice. It's like cooling and cloud-like.
And you'll really understand when you get this in your hands when we talk about cloud-like. So very gently, but can you see that, guys? As soon as it's touching her skin, it's transforming. Fall asleep on me? It's that cloud-like texture. So first I'm going to use our full coverage foundation. And as Chris mentioned earlier, a little bit of that really does go a long way. And I'm also going to use our full coverage brush. Okay? So I'm not going to take a whole ton of product on here. We want a little bit because we're going to melt it into the skin. And I like to use this brush with it because it gives it a more polished look. So I'm going to take it, blend it into the skin. We're going to do half and half. So you're going to see the difference of the way that the texture looks on top of this makeup. And of course, with full coverage, you're going to want to work it in a little bit more. But you'll see the skin's going to look polished and absolutely flawless.
So Colleen, how much do you think you just had in your brush? Because it really does spread out, right?
It spreads out so amazing. It's really creamy texture. I mean, literally just a dab, but a tiny, tiny bit. I just did my brush very lightly into foundation. And you get, I mean, it's creamy, it's smooth, it's got beautiful blendability, especially with the full coverage. And I'm just gently buffing it into half the skin so that you can see how flawless it looks. But on top of this, oftentimes we think about a mattifying primer and you think it's going to be kind of sticky and a little bit tacky and may make the skin too matte so the foundation doesn't glide. That's absolutely not the case with this. It glides perfectly. And you can see with the coverage, just absolutely flawless. So with that, we're going to switch sides, switch gears, and we're going to go into our hydrating foundation. This I can use a little bit more with this, a little bit more blendable, a little bit lighter texture. So I'm going to take this, and now I'm going to use the blurring brush. And with our blurring foundation brush, you're going to see that this is going to work into the skin to give it a different finish because it's a different foundation and a different coverage. And what it's going to do is it's going to give it a more airbrush finish. As you can see with this, again, it just blends beautifully, super creamy. This is one of my faves. Looks good in any light. But on top of the mattifying, because it is a hydrating foundation, you kind of could get concerned, like, oh, how's it going to look on top of the matte? It's still going to give you the radiance that it has. It's still going to give you the flawless finish. But yet with the mattifying, anywhere that you don't want it to shiny, you won't see that. But what you will see is a beautiful, smooth skin. I got a little bit of yeah. So you can see the difference. This is kind of cool to do side by side. So you can see the difference in the coverage and the finish and the way that it blends into the skin.
I love, Colleen, how you have this kind of more radiant glow on one side,
Yeah.
and then the more matte on the other side. I think this is a great demo where you can go back of your hand. I'm just using my beauty blender because that's just my tool of choice for this moment. I love it too because you can see that on one side we're slightly more matte. On the other side, you have that really gorgeous glow going,
Radiance.
radiance, and all of that.
But either foundation that we put on top of the primer glides on like
And that's the shine.
super smooth and
That's
goes
the shine
on
control,
gorgeous.
right?
Yeah, that's
Oh
oil,
my God,
oil and shine control.
oil and shine control. I think it's so great. This is one of those foundations too that you're gonna have to get in your hands and really understand. Sometimes, as we know, with everything at Smashbox, less is so much more. And really, when you're in your stores, definitely sharing with the people that you're working with that you don't need a lot, and that put it on the skin, let it develop on the skin, and then definitely working less is more. But
Yep.
it's so
But
good.
looks
You're gonna get
beautiful, blends in,
coverage.
nice and soft. Oh, you can see the difference. Obviously, the finish and the texture, it looks great on her skin. How does it feel? Can you tell?
Weightless. I can't really tell.
Weightless?
Yeah.
Right. And you know, that's a great, to bounce back to Erin and Chris's segment too, although this is a full coverage foundation, it's absolutely weightless. And you put it on top of this gel-like texture with the oil shine and control, and it just gives you, your skin feels amazing. Not only does it look good, it feels good. I think that's part of the reason why we love to wear our primers too. So you want to say something else cool, Lori?
Yeah, show me.
Okay. I know you love this. So now we're going to go into a little in-store. This is fun. So now we're going to go to a little in-store demo that you can do with your clients. And this really, guys, is super cool. So again, I'm going to take my oil shine and control. I'm going to put a good amount, about that pea-size amount that we like to work with. We're going to blend that into the skin. Thank you, Vanna. And then what we're going to do on top of it, one of our other favorite primers that we absolutely all love and adore, we have our primer oil. We're going to take 1 drop of primer oil.
Let me do the oil.
Yeah, please. 1 drop of primer oil
Here we
here,
go.
1 drop here. And this is actually going to mimic the oil that you would find on your skin. And you're going to see how it sits on top. Now watch this. Talking about Houdini.
Wait a minute, is it
Earlier,
disappearing?
It's
Stop it.
dun dun dun.
Stop it.
The magic. The magic. So we say it goes on like a cloud, mattifies like magic. You can see it really, really visible right there. Great way to show your clients how it's going to really absorb that oil and shine.
I mean, look at that. You can
Yep.
literally see how matte that is and how, of course, you know me, I love the shiny.
Yes,
But, you know, for those ladies that, or for those clients that love matte skin, it's perfect. And it's so, like you said, it's cloud-like and so
Yep.
weightless. You know,
so weightless. And you can see, I mean, it's just an obvious difference. So I think that's going to be really an aha moment for that client when they get to see that up close and personal. And then they realize, well, this works really quickly, but it feels good. It doesn't feel heavy. It just is amazing texture. So for mattifying, guys, the texture is amazing. It feels incredible. We talk about lightweight. Really, this gel texture is amazing. Feels like you're wearing nothing, but all day long, you're going to get that oil control shine. And remember, the technology here is time release. So this is going to mattify the skin for up to 12 hours. So that's 12 hours. That's pretty good stuff.
look at me. I'm putting this out just like you guys.
Every now and again, let's go dancing a little bit. You know, have a good time. Like, you can break it down again.
And also you're like, oh my God, it's so matte. Perfect. The girls in the bathroom at the club are going to be jelly.
The last number that I want to share with you is another one that's fun.
I love it too.
So this is a quick, easy way. Again, it's store. We love our blue Smashbox sponges. They work great for so many different demonstrations. I think we all fell in love with our primerizer demo that we did not too long ago because it really highlighted that hyaluronic acid. But now I'm going to show you how to use this with our oil and shine control. So we're going to go side by side because I'm sure a lot of you are asking, what's the difference?
Yes.
What's the difference? So I'm going to show you what the difference is between these two. We're going to start out on one side with our oil, shine, and control. We're going to put a decent amount on here because, again, we want the sponge to be able to absorb that. As we know, the sponge is mimicking the porous texture of the skin. So we're going to add a little on here, maybe a lot. We say I like my products. Love me some products. All right. And then on the other side, we're going to put our minimize pores. So we're going to do the same thing over here. Blend this in. Now, the first thing you're going to notice, obviously, is the texture. Okay, well, our pore minimizer. Pore minimizer is really designed, guys, to be topical. So this is going to work on the surface of the skin. It's going to help to reduce the appearance of the pore size. Whereas we talked a little bit about the oil, shine, and control having the zinc, which works from the inside out. So you're going to see that this is working within to really sort of, did I just get foundation? Works from within to really sort of plump, control. You're going to see the way that it works within the skin on the pores. It's going to make it smooth and matte, where this is just topical. So both excellent products for that client who has concern with oil, shine, and control with large pores. It's going to go down to preference, and it's going to go to really cocktailing. If you think about it, we just talked a lot about the way we can mix and match our primers. So for the client that does have those large pores in through here, they can certainly go ahead and use their pore minimizer. Maybe they want a little bit of oil shine control through the cheeks. So you can sort of mix and match these together, but you can see really clearly the difference as far as this being topical.
So I love it. So this one is great for skin.
Yep.
And this one is great for makeup.
Correct. Makeup is going to simplifies it.
Oh my God, when you break it down, honestly, it's like, and they can be used together.
They can.
Oh my God, so they're BFFs, but sometimes this one wants to work alone on your skin.
Right.
And sometimes this one over here, she likes to be on top. So there you go, on top of that foundation. So I love it. So great.
So this is just a really fun thing too, guys. Just I want to show you here from the side. It plumps it out. Right. It makes it really full. So when you think about that on your skin, guys, it's going to look amazing.
I love that too, but I think sometimes people with oilier skin, they take so much away from it. So it's almost like a shine product, an oil product that actually helps to give something back.
Yes.
So that skincare is in there.
Skincare's in there. And think about it. I mean, oily skins, they need a lot of love too.
They do.
Sometimes we want to take it all off, and that's
Right.
not necessarily the best thing to do for your skin underneath.
Yeah. So this way you get that hydration in there.
Right.
Oh, love it.
All right, so we want you to remember, goes on like a cloud, mattifies like magic. So now it's time for you to ask your questions. So any questions that you have, please let us know. We're here to answer for you.
Ding, ding, ding.
Lori, have you seen any flashback in studio because this product does have a little zinc inside of it?
I actually have not. I think it's also because when we were testing it, in our mind, the person that loves this foundation, the person that loves this primer loves a full coverage foundation. So it's one of those like amazing, amazing products that we didn't get any flashback from it. We actually even shot it on just skin alone, and it looks like nothing, which I think is so great. Yeah, we have some questions. Okay, can we use it on top of makeup?
That's a good question. Well, I think when we talk about mattifying certain areas of the skin, I know that we can certainly throughout the day get a little bit of shine underneath. But you can take this if you're carrying it around in your bag or you have it in your briefcase, whatever the case may be. You can certainly take a little bit, warm it in your hands, just pat it into the areas that you have.
Yeah.
But again, guys, it's 12-hour control, so
Yeah.
don't necessarily know that you're going to need to touch up so much with this one, but you can if you have to.
Right. And I think it's also like when we think of wearing it on top of makeup, I think that's more pore minimizers.
Yes.
I think, Smashbox, we have more primers than any other brand because for us, there is no one size fits all primer. So that's why we talk so much about cocktailing, because it's all about customization. It's like what will look great on me or what works for your skin may not work for mine. So you really have to get your client into that idea and the people that you're talking to into that idea that we're going to customize.
Right. And that's why it's so important to ask questions.
Right.
Talk with your client and really find out which one's going to be the best for their needs. Because like you said, not one size fits all.
No, there's not a one size fits all. So I'm going to say for men goes on top and this goes underneath. And, we're just going to work it out. Okay, next question.
Can you use oil and shine on sensitive skin?
I would think so. I don't think there's anything that's going to be irritating to the skin.
No. Maybe we reach out to PED and find out a little bit more when it comes to sensitivities or allergens, but based on what we find in there, I don't see anything that would be irritating to the skin.
So Steve said
He's good.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm sorry. Let's phone a friend.
It has a smaller amount of salicylic acid, correct?
Yeah, it's very small, so you should be fine.
Yeah. So don't you love that about Smashbox? It's like, if you want to know, we just go right to the source. Because she's our bot. Which is awesome. Yeah, exactly. Is it similar to blemish control primer? That was a different formula altogether.
That had quite a bit more salicylic
It had a lot
acid.
more salicylic, and we were actually, I think at the time, kind of realized that was even almost like a nighttime primer, like you said, before you go to, or not day and night. So this has a lot less salicylic, and it does have that hydration that you saw, and it does really for 12 hours. If you're oily, just that oil right on out. I think that's a good question. I have a question about it. No, I just like the feel, how it feels so lightweight. I definitely love it for someone that, really has a lot of concerns about shine. I think shine is great, so I don't know people are me, so there you have it.
And my favorite part is when I put this onto the skin and you touch it and feel it, and I go, just give it a second. And they come back, boom, it transfers almost into this light, like powder sort of texture on top of it. So it goes on with the gel, and the next thing you know, it's really soft, amazing texture. So that transformation is such a wow factor that I can't wait to get it onto the clients to see their reaction. So not only is it beautiful on the skin, when we see that face, and they can't figure out what it was. Like, what did you just put on my hand?
I take that back to years and years and years ago when the classic primer, what we call smooth blur now, when you would put it on someone's hand, and they would be like, yeah, and then they come back and be like, well, what was that? And that was like when there probably were like 3 primers on the market. So Smashbox is always such an innovator in the fact that we're creating these formulas that, again, sensorially, you love them, but in the true form of them working, they're the bomb.com. There you go.
That's a weird thing, bomb.com.
What the bomb.com is that?
Hi, guys.
I think
We're going to head on over.
we're going to head on over to Miss Holly.
Hi guys. Amazing. Okay. Hi everyone. For those who don't know me, my name is Holly Bonin, and I am the National Training Executive in Canada. And I'm so thrilled to be here at Smashbox Studios today to be a part of our very first global webinar. This is such an amazing honor. And my fun fact is actually my very first time in Los Angeles, California, was to come here to Smashbox Studios for the first time. And I remember I'd been an area trainer at the time, that's what we were called, for 2 years. And it was just so amazing to come to the place where all of these products have been created and developed, and to just be inspired by all of the things that are happening every single day at the studios. So very thrilled to be here again today.
And Sierra, our lovely model, is back to help me share some amazing new products with you guys. Before I get into that, I, as a makeup artist, have been asked for years and heard this common complaint from clients, and I'm sure you guys have all heard this as well, where they're always complaining that no matter what they do, they just notice that their makeup by midday doesn't look the same as it did when they put it on in the morning. Their makeup is faded, they notice that their oil is coming through, it's kind of melting off, and they're so frustrated because, as you guys know, there's nothing worse than spending all of that time in the morning doing your makeup and then noticing halfway through the day that it just doesn't look the same. But at Smashbox, we're so fortunate because everything that we make at Smashbox is made to be super long wearing. We create them on set to battle the issues that they were experiencing on set with longevity of product. And then we've created product that helps to transition into our consumers' everyday lives. And that's from our award-winning primers, our 24-hour long-wearing foundations and concealers, to all of our color category. Everything is made to last as long as our clients do. Having said that, we have 2 amazing new products that we are launching for our fall season that are going to add to this long wear story. And I'm going to start with our incredible Photo Finish Smashbox Photo Finish Fresh Setting Powder. So you guys can see we have our gorgeous camera packaging here that we know and love, and we open to our beautiful shade 1. Hopefully you guys can see, and this transitions on camera. Shade 1 here, which is a beautiful translucent setting shade. And shade 2, don't lose your mind, y'all. Banana, right? Finally, I am so excited about this. So it is coming in 2 shades, our translucent and our banana, so we have all skin tones covered. We're gonna be able to set everyone's makeup in a sheer, beautiful way without impacting the color of their foundation underneath. It is a clay-based powder that is going to set, mattify, and blur with light diffusing micro powders, and they're ground by our super innovative powderizer, which you guys may know from Halo Powder. So the client gets just the amount of product that they need without any of the mess. Amazing for travel as well. Also, adding to this amazing setting story is our new Photo Finish Weightless Setting Spray. So this I am so excited about. It has a 16-hour long wear, and it is going to instantly set makeup for an all-day wear. So the moment you spray this on, it's going to set quickly and give you that all-day wear that we know our clients are so desperate for. It is non-greasy, non-sticky, so it's not going to leave any type of a film feel on the face. And it's equipped with lotus flower and green tea, so chock full of antioxidants that are going to do an amazing job of protecting the skin from environmental stressors, pollutions, all that stuff that we just do not want our skin dealing with throughout the day. What is making this product blow my mind, and I know you guys are going to be so excited about this because this came up when we were talking about the foundations, and I was in the corner like ready to scream from the mountaintops. This makes our makeup completely transfer proof. And I'm going to show you guys how it's going to do that, and your minds are going to totally be blown. It is so exciting. And so I have my model here that I am going to do some demos for you guys that you can kind of showcase how amazing these products work for your clients. And I am going to start with our demo for our setting spray because it does need a minute to set. So my beautiful model, Sierra, is going to lend me her arm. Yes. Both arms, actually. And I'm going to flip, and we're going to use the inner parts of the forearm here. And I'm going to go in with these 3 shades here on a sponge, starting with one side, and I'm going in here with our bronzer color. And I'm going to give it a good swatch on the skin. Make sure that we can see that come through. I'm going to go in with our blush color and the same stripe right underneath. And then I'm going to go in with our shimmer bronze. For those of you who don't or may not recognize this palette, it is the Kelly Contour. If you don't recognize it, I don't even know, because it is like the bomb diggity. So I did this on the one arm. I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other arm. And we need it to be identical. So we can't have more powder on one. We have to make sure we use the exact same amount of powder on both arms, or else it just doesn't have the same effect, you know? So get that on there. Look at that blush color on her.
That bronzer is beautiful too.
So stunning. Having a moment for Kelly Contour here.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Kelly Contour.
That's right. That's why I love California. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we've got them both on. I'm going to take our Photo Finish setting spray, give it a shake, it's important that we give it a little shake because it helps to just mix all that product together. And I'm gonna hold it, you know, not too close to the arm, a little bit further. I'm gonna move that guy out of the way. Okay. I just get it worked here. There we go. Yes, girl. Yeah, this is a brand new one. All right, so I got quite a bit on there, right? But I'm gonna let that set now. And you guys, because we're using so much of this just for this demo, this is super important to do it this way because this is gonna be the seeing is believing for the client and for BAs in Sephora's, SDMs, Pharmaprix, or Ulta, or whatever your retailers are that are selling this, because I know we're across the globe. We really wanna give this a good moment to set because when they see how this works, they're gonna go crazy. So while we're letting that set, we're gonna transition to myself here. And I'm gonna use my favorite lipstick, which is Fireball Matte. Canada knows I love this lipstick because I literally wear it on every single Zoom training because I love me a good orange lip. So I have one good stripe on this forearm here. I'm gonna get another stripe there. And this lipstick is kind of acting as our, as an example of what our skin is like, right? So after we put foundation on, you know, your skin might be a little bit dewy. You might have some oils on there. So this is kind of what this lipstick is mimicking. You guys have seen that I just took some of our Photo Finish Fresh setting powder, loaded in her on, and then I'm just gonna take that and press a generous amount. You guys can see as I'm pressing this in, it's kind of like just disappearing, right? Just press that through. I just wanna make sure that we dust away any excess, but you guys can see. And work it in here, yeah. Sorry guys, I'm gonna make sure that you can see. I'm just gonna really work that in there.
More is more is this one.
Yeah, for this demo.
For the demo.
Yeah, we want more of this one. Obviously, like you don't necessarily need to be layering it on the skin in this way, but we just really want to showcase this for you guys. What do you guys think? Is that enough?
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
Dust it away with your.
With my little clean sponge, dust away the excess there. There we go. So you can see it's still a mattified orange lipstick, which is really nice. And when I take my finger, and I am giving her.
She's rubbing hard. No, that you can rub, yeah.
Oh my
Like,
God.
yeah,
What in
it
the-
doesn't move.
What in the? It's not moving. Okay, I was actually a little scared, not gonna lie about it, guys. I was like not rubbing, I was rubbing hard, but I was like, now I'm really giving it. Nothing is moving. Now watch this. Same pressure over here.
Fireball.
Womp, womp, womp.
Fireball is fabulous. She's just better if she sets.
Okay, now Pierce is going in there and really rubbing. Like, look at that, guys.
No, I'm like,
Yeah, and then no transfer, right? If we do this,
Yeah.
look at my fingers. Nothing,
Transfer.
crazy.
Love
So unbelievable, a great way to show your client how that is going to completely make their makeup transfer proof. So pop that on, you're already seeing amazing transfer resistance. I'm gonna go ahead and use the banana shade on my lovely model, Sierra, just so that you guys can actually see how this is going to look on a client. I'm using the sheer powder brush. This is my favorite brush for applying setting powders of any sort, just because it's so fluffy and it's very light.
I love the shape.
The
I
shape
love
is
the shape. It
unbelievable.
really hugs the
It
face.
hugs the face. I love how you can even see on one side here, there's
Yeah.
an angle. This is more domed.
You
So
got
it's
it.
literally like having two brushes in one, and that's how it was developed. The point is perfect for getting right underneath that eye socket
Yes.
and really, or hugging the jawline.
Absolutely.
I mean, and the thing about this powder, I mean, when you said you were doing this, I was like, oh my God, this is like an LT. I've been asking for this product probably for, I don't know.
This one here? Oh
Are you
my
kidding?
Lord.
In the colors, just because you
Yes.
there's no one size fits all translucent powder, but so we really thought getting a color powder in there just to kind of like, you know, go with all those deeper shades and warmer shades of foundation. So perfect. I love it too. If someone has a fairer skin and I really am trying to get their foundation or whatever they have on a little warmer.
Oh yes.
Warm up those
Turn this way, love.
fair girls, but look how it melts in the sear.
So see how I got a bit on there. I'm gonna dust a little bit on, but sometimes, especially for the under the eye area, like for myself in particular, I crease really easily under my eye.
So do I.
So I like to pick up a good deal of product. Look at how perfectly this brush picks that up. We've got that angle that Lori mentioned, which is literally everything with this brush. I just turn it and I can just press it underneath that eye area. Can you guys see any powder? Like none. It's so lightweight. It just diffuses. It looks like I've added nothing onto her skin. All I'm seeing is the beautiful foundation that was underneath. It's just looking so gorgeous. I'm literally obsessed. Getting it everywhere. Now, I know this question is going to come up because at Smashbox, of course, we're doing more, you know, real makeup. Like we want more of like a natural looking skin. We want the skin to just look like it's perfect, but like we haven't layered a lot of product on. We know you're gonna walk into a Sephora and they're gonna be like, big, 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 big. They're gonna really want tons of that product on. You can absolutely do that with this. You can use your beauty blender. You can use a wet beauty blender and use that to press it under the eye area or to give them that, you know, super crisp look that they're going for. It's totally based on what the client wants. But this setting powder, as we've used it here, is gonna be able to do anything with it. It's amazing. Awesome. Now,
There's a lot of yeses happening right now. Very excited.
Oh, yes.
Really
I'm
good.
so stoked, guys. I'm so excited you're as happy as I am. Now, close your eyes for me, my love. I am going to actually apply this just to set the makeup because I know there's going to be a lot of questions. Can you use them both together? Absolutely. If your client is super oily or if they have, if they're really complaining that they've never had a product that works to really make their makeup last longer, use together 100%. We can use them together to just make sure that makeup does not budge. Also, my makeup gurus out there, if you have a client who's complaining that nothing works, what about layering throughout the application, right? You apply a little foundation, give this a little spritz, add the powder, give it a little spritz, do your contour, your highlight, all that jam, give it a little spritz. It's not gonna budge. And let me show you how much it's not gonna budge. How is this? Is it feeling dry now?
Yeah, it's feeling dry.
Okay, guys, brace yourselves. I know I'm all like orangey here.
Want Lori to do it?
I can rub.
Yeah, Lori, do you
Can
mind?
me too.
Okay, this is my favorite, guys. You guys
Just
know
rub.
that. Both and real rub. Nothing.
Look, okay, look at the indentation that I'm putting in her skin.
No movement.
It is not going anywhere. Like, what are we talking
Guys,
about?
I'm getting married in September, and like, you know, you're putting your makeup on at 6 o'clock in the morning. It's gotta stay good until
see
like
that?
all in the evening. Look at this.
Do you see that? Same amount. But look, what are you talking? It does not move.
Doesn't budge. And watch this. I mean, blood bronzer. It's not even there anymore. Look at this. Unbelievable.
We're gonna show
For
you.
lighting purposes, because on camera, I just want to show it on a fair
Which
skin.
one? Which one? This is
This has the spray. This does not.
It actually even looks nicer.
Right.
Spray.
Spray away.
Wow.
What's
no
happening
spray.
here? See how they?
And you can really get in there.
Yeah, and really.
Like, look at that. Totally
Totally.
disappeared. This is going to be the demo that is going to blow your client's mind. They're going to see this and say, that needs to be on my face. Like, I need that
I
kind of
love
protection.
it.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
Thanks,
And my model, how does it feel on your skin? Talk to me.
Super lightweight. There's no like, it's not sticky. It feels very natural. My face can move. I feel great.
And not drying.
Not drying.
Good,
at all.
good, good, good.
Hydrating. I think
Yes.
they're-
Nice. Yeah, so just give it a little shake, spritz that on. You
Yeah.
can use it anywhere. I mean, if you're using body makeup as well, I
Yeah.
feel like this
Oh
is
my
going to
God,
be
This is great
yes.
for information. Put shimmer on.
Oh my God.
So
Yes. Yes.
think of like, you know, you're wearing a white shirt like this and maybe you put body makeup on. You don't want to see that transferring.
Right.
You don't want to see it transferring on your friends when you give them a hug. As you guys just saw, not going to happen, right? So this has been so fun. Thanks guys for listening, you know, to me go on and on about all our new amazing products. Do you have questions?
Yes, we have quite a few technical questions.
Oh.
And I think we can split the questions. Hi guys, this is Laurie Taylor Davis here, the international
Oh.
version.
I have such an accent.
The many faces of Laurie Taylor Davis.
Oh my God. Okay, great question here. Is setting spray alcohol free? I believe I know the answer, but I'm going to ask our PD extraordinaire.
It is not
Yes.
alcohol-free.
But I feel like the content is not as high as some of the
No.
others. And when I first sprayed it on my face, I'm very, very dry. And I have to be very sensitive to using products with alcohol. I didn't smell it. I didn't experience any alcohol feel. So I think for clients who are concerned about that, they're going to be very, very happy with this product because it's much, much gentler than the other ones that I've tried. And also I noticed in comparison to other setting sprays that I've tried as well, I like that this one really helps to set a little bit more quickly, which is great. Setting spray has a matte finish.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. So this is a great question too, because we have two setting sprays essentially now, right? We have our primer water, which I've been using to set religiously for years. The difference being primer water, when we're using that to set, it's melting product together and helping to create a more natural kind of complexion, whereas our setting spray is locking on makeup for 16 hours, right? So it's extending longevity, whereas primer water is just kind of setting and melting product together. Great questions. Lay them out.
Then we have some more technical questions over here, which is a really good question. Does the setting spray make your makeup waterproof?
Does it make your makeup waterproof? I believe no.
No, it does make the makeup waterproof. It makes it long wearing and it really creates a 16-hour wear, but we don't have a claim of waterproof as such.
But if they're using our 24-hour Studio Skin full coverage and then using this to set, they're waterproof, their longevity, they're getting all of that in one.
And now over to the powder.
Good for baking powder. Yes, absolutely. And I know everybody this is not everyone's jam, but I do bake underneath my eyes. I have to, or else I get creasing like crazy. Perfect product because I can't see any powder underneath my eyes when I use this. It's unbelievable. I
found because it's talc free, you can bake as much as you want and you're not going to see anything.
Love it.
Banana shade, is that good for all skin tones?
On someone as fair as me, it's probably not going to be the best because it does have a lot of that yellow undertone. So if you're sitting at like anywhere from our fair to kind of fair light, I would 100% be going to the translucent powder. We have 2 shades for a reason, right? We want some shades for our light to medium and then have the shades for medium to deeper skin tones as well. And
then our last question before we're moving on to our polls, can you use the powder on dry skin?
Can you use the powder on dry skin? 100%. Yes, it's going to be great for dry skin. Again, I just told you guys, I mean, from my experience, I'm extremely dry, and this works beautifully, and it just keeps my skin looking very, very natural. I can use all of my hydrating products underneath, and then you use this to set, and then your makeup is good to go for the rest of the day.
And then we have one last question that's just come in. Laurie.
Okay, so we have one last question. The question is, I'm going to the channel, to the team Smashbox.
72.
Okay. How does our setting spray compare to the Urban Decay All-Nighter?
It supersedes the Urban Decay All-Nighter. We actually tested them arm to arm, and the Urban Decay, it was transferred, but the powder was gone, whereas ours is still there. It has stay power. It's amazing. It's great. It's wonderful.
Not throwing shade, but also not mad about it.
No,
not mad about it. Let's be honest. All-Nighter.
Yeah.
Yeah, like.
Yeah.
So now it's time. We've got some questions for you guys. Please log onto your poll. And our first question, Photo Finish Oil and Shine Control Primer controls oil for how many hours? A, 8 hours, B, 10 hours, or C, 12 hours? Please log in your votes as I'm getting my hair fixed by the other Laurie Taylor Davis. Oh, we're getting a lot of the same answers. Is everyone logging in their votes? 98%, few more minutes. And I think we're done. 99% agree that this controls oil for 12 hours. Moving on to our next question. Photo Finish Oil and Shine Control Primer feels like what and mattifies like magic? Fluffy, something, that texture. Let's see. Yes, we've got cloud, powder. How does it feel on the skin, people? That's fluffy,
like
something. Ooh, silk. Second skin, cloud-like. We're definitely loving a cloud-like feel, almost like my hair.
I think it feels like
cloudy, but no rain.
I think it feels like soft curls.
Soft curls. It's just that subtle bounce. It's like your hair, but it's the primer for the skin. Next, moving on to our Photo Finish Fresh Setting Powder. The Photo Finish Fresh Setting Powder is free of A, talc, parabens, and phthalates. B, talc, parabens, and fragrance. Or C, parabens and fragrance. Log in your votes. And yeah, we're hitting a 98%, 96%. A is the correct answer. Moving on to our last question. Photo Finish Weightless Setting Spray makes makeup transfer proof and improves the wear of makeup for how many hours? A, 10 hours, B, 12 hours, or C, 16 hours. Ooh, we've got some answers in B and C, but all of a sudden they're all changing. We're almost hitting 100% to C, 16 hours. And that's from me. Take it over to more makeup with Manny.
Hey guys, how are you? It's going. Oh, it's going to me. Hi. I just want to be in a ring light. We're going to turn that back around slowly.
Hey guys, it's Manny Roldan here. I'm the Field Executive Training Manager, obviously, for Smashbox down in the Southeast. And a fun fact about me, actually, this summer is marking 20 years for me in the makeup industry, and I'm really excited because we are actually launching some new eyeshadow palettes, and my favorite thing to do really is eyes. I'm all about skin, but I really, really do love eyeshadow. And if you guys remember, back in spring of 2017, we actually launched the first Cover Shop palettes, and we launched it with Shay Mitchell, which was amazing because she is that superstar and she really is that social media icon. And so that paired with the fact that we had beautiful palettes with tons of different textures. They were a great launch for us, and we're really continuing this within in the fall. So really excited to introduce to you guys 2 brand new palettes. We have our Desert, which you can see here is going to be some more of those warmer shades. We have beautiful shimmers, and we have some great matte transition shades in there as well for our clients. And then we also have the new denim palette. So this denim is gonna have those gorgeous blues. Again, you're gonna have those matte transition shades in there. So we're very, very excited for these new colors and these formulas that you'll see that I will be using on our gorgeous model here. So another great thing about these is you will notice they have an awesome duality to them as well, because you can get a very understated look if that's what you're wanting to do, or you can really amp it up for that diva client that we all know exists in store. So it's going to be really exciting for us. And also, I just want to tell you guys that this is our time to really get into store and re-educate our teams about eye shape. One thing Lori and I were talking about yesterday is the fact that I'm sure you guys noticed that in store we have a lot of graduates from the School of Instagram and YouTube. And when they get their degrees, I think one thing that they don't teach in those schools is eye shape and just the importance of it. And it's one thing that I really speak to when I am in store training, because I feel it's one of those things where when you're watching that person on Instagram or YouTube, a lot of times they do have that perfect almond shape, which is great and it's beautiful. But to be able to really speak to different eye shapes is going to elevate you, us as artists in store. And if you can take that woman who has a hooded eye and show her how to properly apply eyeshadow, you're going to change your life, and you really are going to make sure that you are closing that sale, and it's going to make all the difference for you. So before we get into some demos here, I want to talk to you guys about what the eye shape is for our model. So let's go ahead and look at her. You guys are all aware of what the questions are on the eye shape quiz. So the first question that we always ask when trying to determine eye shape is, does she have a crease? And if you're looking at her, you can see she definitely does have that crease to her eye. So the second question is going to be, if we were to draw an imaginary line right across her eyes, are you going to notice an upturn or a downtone to her, or downturn to her, I should say? And at looking at her, I can see that she's pretty uneven all the way across. Maybe just a little slight upturn, but not too much at all. And then, so the next question is the crease visible? And we can see it definitely is visible. So the last question is, in her eyes, do we see the whites of her eyes all the way around? And no, we do not. So we can tell here that she definitely does have that beautiful almond-shaped eye, which is most desirable, let's be honest. So we're definitely going to be able, she's so perfect.
Oh my goodness.
So we're definitely going to be able to create some wonderful looks here. Now, I am going to start with our denim palette. And I'll tell you, another fun fact about me is the fact that the first time I ever did makeup on a client, it was my first experience ever with a client, and she wanted blue eyeshadow. If I can find her and apologize, I really would, because I will tell you, blue isn't the easiest, right? A lot of times it can be difficult to use. So I'm going to show you some tips and tricks to really be able to show them how to use a blue properly and not make it too over the top. All right. So with the eye, I will tell you, I've already prepped her eye. I did some 24-hour shadow primer. And I also took from the palette this shade here, which you can see is called Vintage. And with Vintage, all I did was just put a little bit through the crease. She already has a beautiful crease, so I just wanted to throw a little bit in there to give just a little bit more dimension before we went in with color. So here we go. This is what I'm going to do now. I'm actually going to take some 24-hour shadow primer.
Prepare for your mind to be blown, because I had a moment. I was like, what?
Okay.
So this is one thing I will tell you. If you're ever experiencing any type of fallout from an eyeshadow and you want to give it just a little bit more of that stick that we need, go ahead and take a little bit of the 24-hour shadow primer. Go straight into that shadow that you want to use with your finger. Grab some good pigment from it. I mean, they're so pigmented. So just grab some in your finger and go ahead and mix it right into the 24-hour shadow primer. And now you have a gorgeous cream shadow, and you're not going to get any fallout at all. So here we go.
Impressive, right? You're like, how do you do that?
So I'm going to take with my finger, if you can close your eye, and I'm literally going to just put a little here on the eyelid.
Manny, I love how when you're starting right at that kind of the ball of the eye.
Yes.
Not too far in, not too far out, so that it's actually still very workable.
Yes. Well, you want, the thing is, it's just like with a brush. When you're first putting down any type of product, that's where you're putting the most product. So to be able to put it on the ball of the eye so that you will have that product to be able to work to the outer and into the inner.
Start pretty close to the lash line.
Yes,
too,
of
so you
course.
Work your way up, which
Yes,
is
yes,
also
yes, yes.
Very smart application tip.
So then I can take just a little bit more from my hand, and I'm using the full coverage shadow brush here, and we can go ahead and just blend this line out into the crease for her really softly and continue bringing it into the corner of her eye. I hope that looks good over there.
It does. I think this application is really great because you're using the shadow itself as the base.
Yes.
For the shadow dry, which is so smart. So like they're just basically, you're pairing one with the other. So they kind of grab onto one another. Such a great trick.
Absolutely. And I'm telling you, if you show this trick to anyone, you're not only selling that shadow palette, but you're going to sell that 24-hour shadow primer with it too. Like that's it. It's over.
Seriously.
So the thing about cream shadows that I really, really love is that when you lay them down and you apply any type of shadow on top of it, you really do get some intensity. So you can always go right back in, and I am just using our shadow blending brush. I'm going to go right back into that same shade. And here I can pat right on top, and we'll get even more shimmer from it.
Intensifying the color.
It's intensifying that color.
So I think too, what's also kind of key that you guys should think about or kind of take in is really think about the brush you're using. Manny was very smart in using the first brush was what, Manny?
That was the full coverage shadow brush.
Full coverage shadow brush. So that's more of a brush that's going to pack and lay on color and really get color where you want it. Then he paired it with a blending brush when he was applying more intense, more shimmer, because the more you apply with the blending brush, you're going to see that fleck and that sparkle kind of come to life. And that's brushes are so important. I know that they're sold everywhere, but they're so important. And we've created a whole entire brush collection that really is made to bring out the best in so many of our products.
Yes, thank you so much, Lori. So now I am going to take, this one is called Vintage. Wait, hold on, let me make sure. Yep, just kidding. This is Buttonfly. Taking this one here, same brush, and I really just want to put a wash of color right under the brow bone, just to bring this brow bone out just a bit without getting too intense with it.
It should look soft.
Nice and soft. Yeah, just like kind of like that second skin shimmer is what we're going
Not like
for
1984.
there. New.
High school prom pink dress.
Now I'm going into Vintage. This is Vintage here. This is this gorgeous matte transition shade. And I had already had it in the crease for her. Open your eye for me. But I just want to go right back in and just blend this out a bit more. We all know that transition shade is what really ends up blending out that lid color for you. Make sure it's as seamless as possible.
I love how you also, that's a great trick too, if you're ever trying to figure out where your application of that transition shade is, have them open their eye.
Oh, for sure.
Have them open.
And it just,
like
well, the thing is once the eye is open, you really see where you want to place that transition shade and the shape of the eye. And then we all know if you have someone that is more upturned or downturned, the only way or the only spot we're going to be able to play with the shape is going to be in the corner of this eye. So right here is where we're going to play with a deeper shade, and we could go ahead and lift a little bit more or bring it down, whatever we want to do.
Right.
And with an almond shape, what's great is always to kind of bring it out and just give that beautiful lift that we're looking for.
I love that woody trail.
All right, so now I'm going to take a little bit more of the 24-hour shadow primer, and I'm going to show you just another little tip here. I'm going to take the Precise Smudger. I'm taking the 24-hour shadow primer by itself. Look straight up for me, and I want to take it right under the eye area. Now what I'm doing too is I'm not only applying it to the lower lash line, but I'm not blending it in too much. I almost want that product. I almost want to see a bit of the product under the eye. Then, same kind of concept. I'm going to go in with this guy here, same brush. Tap off that excess, and this one is called Ride or Die. So turn this way for me just a bit, and I'm just going to go right in and smudge this Ride or Die under the eye area.
The thing I love about this application is sometimes, you know, you're using it in a different way, Manny. You're doing a slight drop shadow, you're doing color with a drop shadow. It's not all about, you know, a wing liner.
Yes.
That we've learned to death in the school of Instagram, social media. But I love how we're actually getting color all the way around the eye, which kind of modernizes the makeup application.
And so you can see what I did is I really just kind of placed the color right now. I'm not blending just yet, but I just wanted to get that intensity first that I was looking for. So now I'm going to switch up my brush. And I'm going to take our smoky shadow brush here, actually same shade. Look straight up for me. And now I'm going to go right over and go ahead and start diffusing the line underneath. Bringing that drop down a bit as well. You can see that's diffusing it very easily for me. And with that 24-hour, it's not going to budge. And you can see I'm not getting any fallout from it at all.
I think I love this too because sometimes we're trying so hard to drop shadow is that kind of application we all love, but it's you've got to get the right amount of drop to the right amount of intensity at the lash line.
Yes.
And because you basically applied it with the 24-hour shadow primer, what's sticking at the lash line is
it's so much more intense, right?
And then it makes it easier for you to get that subtle drop, that diffused drop. Right. So basically it's a time saver. It's also a time saver. Yeah, because sometimes they're like, quick change. It's like, ooh, I need to get it perfect.
So with the shadow blending, look straight up, I can go right back in even more and then just do a little wash right on top. And like you were saying, it will stick to where that 24-hour shadow primer was even more. And then underneath, it's just going to give that beautiful diffused look that we're wanting.
No fallout.
No fallout at all. You guys, I can't take credit for that 24-hour shadow primer trick because I was that person who would kind of scrape it off into the 24-hour shadow primer. Right. But Pierce showed that to me yesterday and it blew my mind and I'm done.
Shout out to Pierce.
Yes.
Yes.
There you go. So you can see we have that beautiful drop that we're looking for. It's really pretty.
It's really gorgeous.
And then I will go ahead and take the smoky shadow brush again, and I want to go into this guy here. This is Indigo. This is a beautiful blue matte. Love, love, love this shade. And then I want to go just a little bit tighter, closer to the lash line, mattify it a bit, and give it a little bit more depth. Maybe not take it all the way in, but keep it a little bit more concentrated on that
outer portion.
She already has some mascara on too. I did put some of our Super Fan mascara on her. And so now, I just want to take, look straight up for me. I'm gonna take some of our fishnet liner. If you guys follow me on Insta, you know this is my favorite liner we make. And if you don't follow me, Manny_Smashbox. Shameless plug.
That black just kind of intensifies everything.
Totally
so
intensifies
subtly.
everything. And then, of course, I love to look straight down for me. This is going to tickle like hell, but I promise it's worth it.
A tight
right
line.
Under this lash line here. Really make these lashes look a lot fuller.
Well, you talk a lot about tight lining.
Yeah. I mean, tight lining is just, that's one of the things I learned as a makeup artist many moons ago. And it's the payoff. I mean, it is one of those things where you've got to get your clients buy-in. Like, you're not going to like this, but you are going to love how it looks. So
that's why I always preface with this is going to tickle like crazy, but I promise it's so worth it.
Exactly. It's absolutely. But I love it because what it does is it really just helps to make the bed of the lashes look so much thicker. And if you have clients, I mean, teaching them that trick, because sometimes you're seeing a client put on mascara and they're only doing just the tips of their lashes.
Yes.
This is a way to, because they don't trust themselves to get all the way in. Tight lining with black or deep chocolate brown is such a really great way to really kind of connect that lower lash line to like the upperness.
And to that point, Loria, I also feel like that upper tight line is a great way to line an eye for someone who does have that hooded eye.
For sure.
That you don't want to take away from that visible lid space. So you get the definition you want, you get the lashes looking fuller, but you're not, again, closing that visible lid space.
And again, a mature eye too. We have mature eyes, and sometimes they're wanting to wear a liner, but they know they don't have that the tightness that you need to get it smooth. Showing them what a tight line can do and how it can really intensify the eye so subtly is just something really niche to like showing them an old trick that could be new again for them.
Definitely.
So great.
Manny, to the hooded eye, wear this look.
You know what? A hooded eye could use wear this look. What I would do is I would take that God, what is the name of that one?
Vintage.
I'm sorry, wasted. So wasted I would keep on the lid, but that transition color I would just pull up a little bit higher. You want to pull it all the way up towards that brow for sure.
And then you're going to intensify the drop shadow.
Yes.
Maybe you're not going to go as quite deep in tone, but you can do more drop. And what it does is it actually kind of opens up the eye, almost like in half moon. You know what I mean?
I love playing with drop shadow on more of that hooded eye because that's a space where we have more to work with for sure. So you can see there just how nice and seamless this is. Maybe look straight up for me. Pull this out just a bit more.
I like you on the pulling out. Pull it out.
Mm-hmm.
I like to get it to the hairline sometimes.
Elongated out.
I'm like this. I'm like, stretch to the gods. Category is stretched out eyeshadow.
And the way that Manny has it framed is, you guys can all see this on film, but it just really intensifies the shape of her eye.
It does.
Again, it's all about playing with the corner of the eye to really intensify shape, if that's what you want to do.
So when we say stretched out, it's more like it's a subtle fade out, and the intensity is really on the eye, and then it's like that fade out. Okay, man, you have one more shadow palette to show us.
More to show you. So we are going to now go into our desert palette, which I love. So this is going to be a little bit more of those warmer shades that we're looking for, that people always love. I'm going to, again, she already has her 24-hour shadow primer on. And then what I did is I took this ochre kind of shade, which is called Suede, right here. It's so pretty. And this one here, I already kind of went through the crease of her eye with this one as well. And I love it just because with her skin tone, you can see it's so beautiful.
It's so subtle and so beautiful. This is also good for just like someone's like, I have 5 seconds, what can you show me that's new?
Right.
Just a wash of color.
Wash of color.
Because I guarantee they don't have anything like that.
And now I want to take this one, which you see is just a little warmer. This one here is called Casita. Take it her and close for me. Actually, I'm going to take it into the corner of the eye as well. I'm going to go into the crease with it just to give a little bit more definition.
That's really warm. It's so good, Manny. The thing I love about the two palettes is they both, of course, everything we tie back to Smashbox Studios. So one of the kind of key catchphrases in LA is, I'm just going to wear, my favorite pair of jeans and a cute top. That's dinner wear here in LA. And then the desert palette is, LA is actually in a desert. We're a desert community. So it's just kind of harkens back to just kind of like what is so different and so special about Smashbox in Los Angeles.
So now I'm taking Road Trip, which is this one here. And I'm actually using our concealer brush. I love this one close for me because I can really get close to that lash line if I want. And do a little bit more padding. Get that color nice and intensified as I want. And again, with padding, you're going to get you're not going to get any fallout.
Yeah. You're packing that color on so good. Look how that just kind of electrifies that lid.
So again, I like to keep it nice and packed along that lash line. Deposit most of the color there, and then just kind of pat whatever's left on my brush and use what's on the lid and start working up towards the crease. So you really don't see, this isn't a cut crease, guys. This is more of just that diffused shimmer that's going right into the crease for her.
Yeah, just basically matching tone to tone
I love it.
So pretty, right?
Ooh.
Now, all I want to do is I am going to take our angled brow brush, and I'm going to do a little bit of line because I wanted to keep this nice and shimmery and warm, but I do want to play with a little bit of color, and why not? We have this gorgeous shade here that's called, this one is named after a cactus I heard, and this one's called Cigarro. This is a cactus here in LA, and so I'm dipping it in with our angled brush. After I do that, I want the color payoff to be pretty intense, so I'm just going to spray with our primer water. And then I will take the brush close for me and just pat right along this lash line.
Just to subtly intensify it.
Yep.
You know what's one of the questions I think that comes up a lot about our shadows is can they be done wet? And I love your application tip of you put the product on the brush
First.
and then you wet the brush.
Yes, because they are not wet to dry. And what happens is if you go in with a wet brush, I'm not going to say that it's not going to apply well because it will, but now pretty much it's going to glaze and you're going to have to use that shadow wet all the time.
Exactly. So if you don't want to do that, pack color on the brush, couple sprays of primer water on the brush, and then just go from there, getting all the product off. And then going back in again and doing the same thing to build up color.
So you guys, this is a really fun way to be able to introduce color to someone who doesn't wear color normally, is by using a colored liner, because it'll pop that little bit of color onto them and it'll take them to this next level without making them feel uncomfortable.
I love that too. I love, Nana, you were teaching me a couple tricks today.
Oh,
I love, because you know I'm about color. I love feeling it goes all the way around the eye. So the way
thank you so much. And I'm going to keep this pretty simple for you guys. And now all I'm going to do is I'm going to take stargazing, which is this here, and same nice little fluffy brush. And close for me. I just really want to pop it onto the ball of the lid.
That just electrified that shadow.
Yes. Almost makes it look wet.
I almost want to wet that.
I know, right? When people go, yes, maybe I should. Let's do it. I'm going to take a little bit.
Oh
Guys,
God.
I haven't tried this.
Okay.
Living in the
We're
moment.
going off,
Living in the moment.
We're going off
Living in the
script
snapshot
here.
moment. Sorry.
Going off script.
This goes, I'll take full responsibility. Full responsibility.
Oh, look
What
at
are
that.
you saying to me right now?
Look at that.
What are you saying to me?
Stop.
So beautiful.
Look at
Just totally changed the whole look. And you know what? It brought the green from the eyeliner.
Oh my God,
in.
totally.
Look at that. Look at that. Oh,
Love,
amazing.
love.
Sierra, you need to stop it.
And with this look here, just because there's so much shimmer going on the lid, especially with that second pop that I added, I wanted to keep the highlight a little bit more matte for sure. So just kind of keep that in mind when you're doing a super shimmery eye. Keep a little bit more of that matte shimmer under the brow. I know that I did do shimmer here and then a little bit of shimmer under the lid, but then again, it was just that wash of shimmer. So it's looking like second skin shimmer. It isn't really packed on. Again, taking us back to
1984.
Yeah, exactly.
But the thing I do love about this is that you have shimmer all the way around the eye, which goes to prove that you can use shimmer all the way, even with a highlight.
Yes.
And it just looks, and it's more intense look, so it kind of calls for a little bit of drama.
Most definitely.
It's really important to learn, like, where, you know, when drama is fantastic and when it's like woohoo. But then on the other, I love that you just wet that show just a little bit. It says boop, and it just electrified it so much and just changed the whole entire look. Like
It is so pretty.
It's so gorgeous.
So pretty.
Subtle but yet gorgeous. I just love
Definitely.
it.
All right, guys. I really feel that after this, once you're in store and you have these palettes and you're showing them to your clients, by the way, they are a Sephora exclusive, so you will only be able to find these in Sephora, which I think is exciting because you know they always want that color, so we're giving it to them. Really, the only question for you and your client is going to be, are you a denim girl? Are you a desert girl? Or are you both? A lot of times they're going to be both, and they'll be able to build that basket for you.
Awesome. We have some questions.
What's up?
Okay.
Give them to me.
So, all right. So the first, I'm going to backdoor that one first. It kind of goes back to the setting spray. And I'm going to have to actually phone a friend. Is the setting spray safe for eyes?
In terms of packing it on the eye, I would say no. I would say if you're diffusing it, it has alcohol. So I would say just diffuse it over the face, but I wouldn't say use it separately, like with a brush or something to pack on the eye.
Right. And I don't actually think that that's necessary. That 24-hour shadow.
That shadow primer is bomb.
Exactly. He does not.
Yeah.
Enough said.
Yeah.
So the thing, like seriously, just close the eyes and you can get a light misting, but don't pack it on. Okay. I think you answered this question. Can the shimmer shadows be wet?
Yes, so you definitely can wet the shimmer shadows. Just make sure you're going into them first with the brush and then spraying with the primer water. Because again, if you're going into them wet initially, they will still work, but like Lori said, it's going to cause that glaze on top, and then you will just have to use them wet moving forward. If that's what you want to do, go for it, but just keep that in mind.
Okay, so I'm going to just to summarize out, I would like to reiterate.
Yes,
it's
please do.
something that's going to go straight. Load up the powder on the brush, spray the water on the brush. Do not spray the product. That way you'll always have them to yummy and amazing. Don't you know? Oh, that's ruined. So Denim and Desert, is it US only? That's a question.
That is a very good question.
So is it, because
It is
there is
not.
It's in Canada.
It will be in Canada.
so it's North America, but we don't know internationally.
I don't know.
We don't know internationally. We're going to table that one and get back to you. And then you already said it. So where are these launching?
They're going to be a Sephora exclusive.
They're Sephora exclusive. So wherever there's a Sephora near you, hopefully internationally as well, you will see Denim and Desert. Dr. Genna.
Yes.
I think that's it. Any more questions?
Are we good?
Okay. I think I have another. Is there?
Another Lori?
I have multiple personalities. Here's another one.
Everywhere I go, there's a Lori.
Around it. Yeah.
Hi, Lori here. We're going to answer some more poll everywhere questions, so make sure you log on or text. First question. The two new Cover Shot Eye Palette shade extensions are A, Denim Blue Desert Storm, B, Denim and Desert, C, Blue Jeans Dusty Roads.
I like Blue Jeans Dusty Road.
Blue Jeans Dusty Roads. All right, so it looks like most people are answering Denim and Desert. That is correct. Great job, guys. All right, on to the next question. Next question.
Oh, what do you think of the?
I have to do next. It doesn't. All right.
What do you guys think of your
Okay.
Lori impersonators?
What do we think of the Lori impersonators? Love, amazing, incredible, fabulous. We're getting some winky eye emojis. The cool emoji. Love, fun, twinning,
I like diggity.
fire, spot on. All right, so we're getting lots of answers here. Love it, guys. Thanks.
Crazy.
Crazy. Yes, we are crazy. Fabulous. Bomb. 80s? All right. Loving that. All right. Next question. All righty. Our level A launch for this season is A, Photo Finish Oil and Shine Control Primer. B, Studio Skin Full Coverage 24-hour Foundation. Studio Skin Full Coverage 24-hour Foundation. All right. So most people are answering C, Studio Skin Coverage 24-hour Foundation.
That is correct. The Oil and Shine Control Primer is going to be our B level launch for the season.
All right. Great job, guys. I think that's it.
Oh, you look gorgeous. Jen, we should get your hair like this more often.
I'm going to get a perm.
Hold on.
Uh-oh, it's going back to me. It's coming back to me.
Exactly. That camera loves you.
Apparently, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for loving the Loris.
You know. Yeah. For sure. Okay. What are we doing next?
I think we're going to do
We're
some
gonna
recap. We're
some
going to
recap?
head back right over here.
To Chris, and we're talking to Chris, Chrissy Poos. Oh, excuse me. I'm so sorry.
Hi, guys.
I mean, someone really got an
We
outfit
all
change.
have to channel our inner Lori, so, you know. Just serving it up today.
Hey now.
Just waiting on Erin. Hold up. 1 second.
Do your best Lori impersonation.
Sheer layers, guys. It's all about sheer. And make sure you put on a lot of mascara. I do not want to see any space in between the lashes on set. The more mascara, the better.
Lori, I feel like you could call it sick.
I agree 100%.
Oh,
You look like Kenny G.
I was thinking like Weird Al Yankovic.
Oh.
I can't. So, ready?
Yes,
Let's
yes.
wrap this thing up.
Wow, what an amazing day so far, right?
I think so.
Pretty cool. So now that we've gone through the fall launches, we're going to take some time to talk more about our A-level launch, which is the full coverage Studio Skin 24-hour wear foundation. Just so you know, the foundation is first to launch at Sephora for a full 8 weeks on 8/1, and then it will launch internationally on 10/1. But that's going to vary by region, so more to come on that. We want to blow this launch out of the water, and we know you don't have the product in front of you, but we want to just show you some best practices for when you do have it in person. Now, take a look at the full coverage campaign video that we have in store for you, plus 2 confessional videos that we mentioned earlier.
So let's review some shade matching best practices. So in store, you want to make sure that you choose 3 shades and start in the center of the face and then let it dry down. The dry down is really, really important. Even if someone is coming in and they say they're at 2.1, just match them again in the new Studio Skin full coverage just to make sure that it's still their shade. Because you're not going to be seeing the undertone of your client's skin like you do with the traditional Studio Skin hydrating foundation. So just make sure that you're rematching. Pay attention to the décolleté, the arms, and making sure you're getting a very cohesive blend. You also want to make sure that you are, when the foundation is drying down, that's your time to speak to primer, address their skin concerns, just giving it that time to kind of warm up. And the new foundation is going to be in the color IQ, so you're going to be able to use the color IQ in Sephora to shade match your consumers as well.
Nice. We also have this shade matching tool, which you will have in store, and this will be a part of your training boxes as well. It has the full lineup of shades, everything from very fair neutral on up to very deep neutral. And this is helpful because it will tell the undertone of the foundation and make it much easier for you to do a quick match while you're in store. And then on the other side of it, we also have an educational insert that explains the Studio Skin Full Coverage Foundation, plus the full coverage shade matching guide, and then all the tips and tricks that take you through that process. When you're working in Sephora, you want to make sure that you are training according to who's in front of you. So it's really important when you open up that brand focus and you begin training on stage that you find out how long that person has been working. Their skill level, right? You know, they've been around for 2 weeks, have they been around for 3 months, have they been around for 6 years? Do they have a strong?
I just started yesterday.
You just started, yeah, I doubt that. Sometimes they do trick you, okay? So, you know, if someone's brand new, maybe that's where we take them back to basics and we just talk about the feature, advantage, and benefit of each product, and maybe, you know, like the basics of how to use it. Now, if someone's more advanced, what do you suggest for a more advanced skill set?
I think you just want to talk more about undertone, how they can maybe use a couple different shades of the full coverage to kind of customize the skin, kind of like that Oprah moment where she uses a couple different shades of foundation to really customize and get a really even blended complexion. And then I think more for your like cash wrap and whatever you want to speak to, this is the foundation that you're going to be showing when someone comes in looking for a full coverage. If they don't say full coverage, you're not going to be showing them this foundation.
Right.
You want to, you know, maybe start with the traditional Studio Skin because that one can be worn light to medium.
Wonderful. And then,
Before we go there, there was a couple other questions that
do we want to do that now? Show them the campaign now?
Yeah, let's share the screen.
Yeah.
So we meant to show you 2 videos earlier. We're going to go back. You're going to share the screen with you so you can see those 2 videos for the ad campaign for the full coverage 24-hour wear foundation.
Perfect. Let us do it.
I'm super, super, super white, so I get super pink really easily. Yes, okay, so I have this one, and I don't have to be super good at makeup to use it. I have to be honest, I'm wearing nothing. I feel like my skin can breathe, and I don't feel like I'm gonna break out from it, which is really nice. My name is Gabrielle Beasley. I'm wearing 1.0.
All right, guys.
My skin type, I would say, is very dry, normal to dry. I've got a bit of discoloration. A lot of times, too, with the marks that pimples will leave, having a seamless finish has been part of my issue. I'm looking for something that can get the job done in the most shortest frame of time. I would absolutely consider this my new go-to foundation. My name is Asia Cherry, and I'm wearing 4.5.
So my skin type is very sensitive. Any type of small breakout I get, I scar really easily. It's important for me to cover up my acne and my acne scars because I am very insecure about it. If I could find a full coverage foundation that felt light, I'd wear it all the time. The first time I wore makeup was 6th grade at a friend's slumber party, and we were just doing each other's makeup, and I felt beautiful, and it did that for me. Smashbox Studio Skin Full Coverage 24-Hour Foundation. Feels super lightweight compared to other full coverage foundations. You should definitely believe the hype. I'm Kristen Renee, and I'm wearing shade 3.2.
We're gonna play this one again.
Hi, baby.
Okay. So as you can see by the shades, you're going to be able to catch every single ethnicity, multicultural. Really, we were able to match everybody on set.
Wonderful.
Right?
Yeah. And, I just want to reiterate, too, the different learning tools that you have for in-store. Don't forget about, back on track?
Technical difficulties. We're just hearing some really cool echoing.
Hey, is anybody see the Duchess? I kind of look like her, don't I? Like, just before she lost it, and they had to put her hair on. They had to put her hair on with that vase of water right there. Poor thing. So anyways, these training tools are great. If you completed your brand focus days for the month and you just want to reiterate or recapture some information, these learning tools are outstanding. They have looks that were created by all of us Venoms.
All of us.
A look by beautiful Holly Bonin and Colleen. We've got Chris Mortucci, and then of course me right here. It's all about the lips in this one, right? And then what's wonderful about these foundations, and because there's so many of them, is that they're going to be, well, you've got 40 shades. So when it comes to catchment data, we literally have something for every consumer, every ethnic group, which is outstanding. All right, so what other questions do we
A
have?
few people were asking about the tools. So when I was on set for the casting of the foundation campaign, we used every tool, every foundation brush we had, because we matched, I think we did 150 shade matches that day, and we didn't have a clean brush left. So we started off just using 2 of our foundation brushes, and by the end of the shoot, we used every single brush that was in our belt. So The tool is just going to depend on the coverage. The main thing I cannot stress is that less is more with this foundation. You don't need a pea size. You don't need a half of a pea. You want like a half of a half of a half, like a grain of rice to start, and then blend out that way.
Tic-tac.
Yeah,
Tic-tac.
yeah, tic-tac is good. Yeah,
Yeah, less is more.
yeah, 100%.
Sheer layers.
Another question is studio skin hydrating. Yeah, we already talked about the shade, so we're good on there. Is it good on textured skin? Absolutely. It worked on every skin type on set. I felt when it came to textured skin, you want to do more of a bouncing application to kind of work it into the pore.
Chris, can you talk about that question again? Because that was asked after you addressed it. So just to reiterate, the Studio Skin Hydrating Foundation.
Perfect. So if somebody is a 2.1 in the traditional Studio Skin Hydrating Foundation, they most likely will line up in the new formula, but you want to make sure that you are rematching. This hair of Lori's. You want to make sure that you're rematching so that you make sure that you're getting the proper match. With this one being super duper full coverage, you're not going to see any of the undertones, so that's why you need to just rematch again. Pay attention to the décolleté of the arm so you get a very cohesive blend.
And
Perfect.
did we talk about while it's drying on the skin, what kind of questions we can ask our client while they're sitting in the chair?
While they're being striped?
Yeah, while they're being striped.
Yeah.
So, of course, ask those open-ended questions. You can open this up to what other concerns they might have, or not concerns, but what other beauty dilemmas they might have.
Show them the different primers, the different primer sponge tricks, the primer oil trick, whatever primer's trick is going to pertain to their skin type. You have so many things to wow them while they're in chair waiting for that foundation to dry.
Yeah, it's really a great opportunity for you to build, build an
you just want to
experience.
keep the connection with them so you don't just walk away. Really just stay asking those questions and getting to know them a little bit more.
Nice.
Good?
Will there be numbers and shade descriptors on the box? Someone just asked.
There will be. It will say the shade number, and then it will say like a light, medium, neutral, olive, a warm, cool undertone. I don't know. You know how we do. But it will say what the shade is, if it's warm or cool or neutral.
Wonderful. Okay, so post-webinar, you will receive more information about the Studio Skin shade assortments in your market. Plus, there's more information about training tools and gratis that's to come, okay? So be on the lookout, contact your FedEms. You will be receiving more information. Now, of course, don't forget to educate yourself. We want you to build that pool of information, whether that's through Google searches or contacting your FedEms, but do your own education. Do a comparison with other brands out there.
Yeah.
So let's do one last review, shall we? We have Chris, Colleen, Holly, and Manny.
Yes. I just want to answer 2 questions.
We're going to do that when they come on.
We've got 2 more questions.
2 more questions. Gratis. So we are going to customize the gratis program for Sephora only, and Sephora US and Sephora North America, so Canada as well. So we are gratising this item. Sorry. And then the other question is, the full coverage foundation brush going to be sold anywhere other than Macy's and on.com? Right now it's still a Macy's exclusive. However, you can link it with any full coverage foundation brush that you have in your retailers.
His hair is weighing me down.
You need to learn how to wear that crown. Please.
Okay, so we're just going to do a little quick review. So for Studio Skin Full Coverage Foundation, what you want to remember is that it's weightless, oil-free, and shine control. 24-hour maxed out coverage. It is waterproof, sweat-proof, and humidity resistance.
Photo finish, oil and shine control primer. 12-hour oil control infused with salicylic acid. Of course, we have witch hazel and zinc. Feels like a cloud, mattifies like magic.
Okay, before I get into our final points that I wanted to scooch in a little closer, keep in mind about our setting product. There were 2 other questions that we just want to make sure that are super clear. The first is Photo Finish setting spray matte? It is not a matte finish setting spray. It is a setting spray made for your makeup to last longer. So if you've done a dewy or radiant finish on a client and that's what they want, they can use the setting spray to extend the longevity of their makeup but keep the same finish. So it is not mattifying the makeup. This is kind of tying into the second question, which is what is our point of difference for setting powder and setting spray? So the point of difference is that the setting powder is going to mattify your makeup, right? It is going to set, but it will also lightly mattify, whereas the spray is just to extend the longevity of the makeup. So you really need to investigate with your client what it is that they're looking for in terms of extending longevity or setting makeup, and also what their actual needs are for their skin. So make sure you investigate that first. You can absolutely use both, or use the best based on what their skin needs are. So for photo finish settings, powder, our main points that we want you guys to keep in mind is that it is going to set, mattify, and blur makeup with a completely weightless finish. It is free of talc, parabens, and phthalates, which is super important, and that we have 2 amazing shades, one translucent and one in a banana shade, so that we have something to cover all of our skin tones. For photo finish weightless setting spray, our big points of difference are that it is going to make your makeup completely transfer resistant. It is giving you a 16-hour long wear underneath or over top whatever makeup look that you've done, and it is completely non-sticky and non-greasy. So it's going to feel amazing on the skin.
All right, Manny Taylor Davis here. The cover set eye palettes, just remember, first of all, they are pigment packed. You guys know this, they have very intense pigment, which is phenomenal. Second is the range of finishes and shades. You get superior blendability. And then just don't forget that they are inspired by trends that are seen and shot here at Smashbox Studios. So we are completely on trend with these new palettes.
And hashtag believe the hype and hashtag we did it.
Yeah! Well, I want to thank you all for tuning in today. Thank you. We got through our first ever TTT webinar. You know, this could not have happened without all of the amazing people behind the scenes. We're going to let you know who's in the house.
It just wants to focus on them. It
Okay,
loves.
here you go.
Hey guys, thanks for all the questions and thanks for your engagement throughout the training.
Hi guys, I'm Julie, North America Manager of Content.
Hi guys, I'm Karina, Global Content.
Hi guys, I'm Ashley. I'm the Marketing Communications Coordinator.
Hi guys, I'm Sierra. I'm the Complexion Product Development Manager.
And our model, our beautiful
Hey everyone, I'm Jen Flores. I'm on the Global Education team. I'm the administrator.
Hi.
Switch around with me so we can see your face.
Oh, hi guys, I'm Summer. I'm head of sales for Smashbox. I know most of you.
And behind the camera, who's behind the camera?
We're so excited to have you here. It was an awesome day. And I think Lori's going to close the show.
Oh, I don't know. I forgot what I was supposed to say.
You know what I'm supposed to say?
You know, we have so many amazing launches. All of the products, of course, are coming straight to you from here at Smashbox Studios. We want to thank you for tuning in. We want to pick out my hair, pick out my hair. I've been picking out everyone else's hair. I forgot my hair.
Thank you, Lori.
All right. It's going to be an exciting season, and I cannot wait to see what you guys create with all these amazing products. Ciao, ciao for now. I think that's a wrap.